if you enter this form and you enter like why you're single, then we will do a tier list. A tier list for all the reasons we're single. Actually the most scuffed tier list of all time, but we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Okay, let's see. What are the reasons? So the first reason is this one. Had a breakup fairly recently. Been too busy to keep looking. So this spreadsheet is ranking reasons to be single. Had a breakup, so recent breakup, and too busy. All right, I think recent breakup as like a reason to be single is very, very legit. Too busy is also very legit as a reason to be. I'm gonna rate all of these A. I'm gonna rate all of these A for real. The D tier is the Dwee tier. Recent breakup is definitely a very good reason to not be single right now, though. Being too busy is obviously very legit for real. You gotta take care of yourself. You gotta take care of the things in your life. Okay, what is next up? Traumatic last relationship. Ooh, okay, that's kind of in the recent breakup category. Absolutely legit. Absolutely legit. Y'all put this in the recent breakup category, or like in the recent breakup vibe. Traumatic last relationship though definitely makes sense as a this is not something that I want to yeah, this is something that I'm caring for myself, and I totally get it. I really do. If your last relationship is traumatic, you kind of have to reground yourself and recenter yourself. Sometimes being in a bad relationship with someone can really like mess with your sense of reality. So you have to kind of regain who you are. So that totally makes sense. All right, next one is my personality is an acquired taste. Bruh. What do we think of this one? So this person is saying my personality is an acquired taste. Is that good? Bad? Is this trying to say that basically they need to meet someone who is their match? Meet someone who is their match? I'm gonna put this in the B tier. I don't think this is a bad reason at all. Moy is saying D tier. Well, so the question is, my personality being an acquired taste, is that because your personality is actually acquired taste, or is it because you are the kind of person who doesn't recognize that all relationships require compromise, or doesn't recognize that, you know, you're not changing yourself to be with someone. You are like being with someone doesn't mean you change yourself necessarily, but it does mean that you learn about them and your personality can sometimes shift to compromise more, shift to be with them more, right? I'll put this as a C tier. I mean, there's the thing, right? It's hard to tell because, like I said, if it's like, you know, I am someone who wants to find the very right match for me, then that's why I feel like my personality is an acquired taste. But sometimes this can be an excuse to just be like, I don't care if nobody likes me. I'm not gonna examine myself and try to change. So, but I'll put it in B tier because I always will assume the best of people. So, yeah. Because I'm not actively looking for a partner at the moment, and maybe because I don't go out much of the time, you know what, that's totally legit. Absolutely legit. I'm not looking for a partner at the moment. Okay, this is 2. This is 2. I'm not actively looking for a partner, and I don't go out. This is not a good reason, y'all. This is not a good reason. It's based. It's the Dwee tier. Is that a good tier or a bad tier? How do you meet people, right? That's something that is just like you are, it's the dweeb tier, right? That's something where you're kind of nerfing yourself. I understand why you would do that, but you're still nerfing yourself, you know? Just because it's a reason doesn't mean it's a good reason. I have the brain of a child. Children shouldn't date. Children shouldn't be dating anyways. Alright, excellent. One is saying, I play Fire Emblem, bro. E tier. E tier for real, alright? If I play Fire Emblem and can someday find love, then you can play Fire Emblem and someday find love too, okay? I believe, alright? I need to, here's the thing, right? To the person who wrote this answer, I have to believe if you can't find love, then I can't find love either, okay? Crying in the club, okay? So I have to, they can S-rank someone in Fire Emblem. Actually true. Actually so true. So yeah, unfortunately I have to rate this an E tier because I need to believe myself. I need to believe myself. What are we ranking this blank place? I don't even know. What are we ranking? What are we ranking? What are good reasons to be single? Okay. All right. All right, another one is have had no takers. Damn, bro. I don't even know where to put this, bruh. Have had no takers at all. Ouch, for real. I feel this though. I do feel this. It's hard to maintain for a slow guy like me. Where should we put have had no takers? I guess that is a legit reason to be single, right? It's the kind of thing where, you know, you are looking for something specific and you're not looking for something specific in a completely unrealistic way. I think I'll put it C. I think I agree with Ian and Rika that it belongs in the middle. Because the thing is, like, sometimes having no takers can be a part of having unrealistic expectations, but sometimes it's just a matter of not finding the right person at the right time. So I think that this is a legit reason, but it's not a permanent reason. It's not a permanent reason, and it's not the kind of thing that can stop you forever, because I do truly believe that there is someone for everyone. And I have to believe that just for my own sake, you know? So, yeah. Alright, another one is I've been burned before. I've been burned before. I feel like that's in the traumatic last relationship category, right? You know, I'm gonna put this in the A tier. Because being burned before is similar to traumatic last relationship, because it would be along the lines of like, it is genuinely really difficult to move past, because like when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's like the closest kind of connection you can have, right? Obviously you're very close to your you may be very close to your family, you may be very close to your friends and to your siblings and whatnot, but when it comes to a relationship, you're choosing a life partner. You know, you're choosing the one person, or if you're polyamorous, I guess you're choosing the multiple people, but typically you're choosing the one person that you're going to be fighting through life with. And because it's such an intensely close relationship, if you've been burned, if you've experienced trauma in the last relationship, then it can absolutely skew your sense of reality. It can be deeply intense and deeply difficult to move on from. So I think that's a legit reason to be single, but it's not a legit reason to be single forever, because, you know, what's the word? Maybe that's unfair to say. That's unfair to say. It's very valid to get dating fatigue, as Itzaroro is saying, but I do understand, but I still feel as though it's not a reason to be single forever, because ultimately we keep on moving on. We keep on moving onward and up. Yeah, I'll put this in B tier, actually. Alright, another one is by choice legit. Legit, S tier. S tier. Absolutely S tier. By choice, baby. By choice. Easy. S++ tier. Another one is saying, I don't go out looking for a partner. That's kind of the same thing, right? Based. Based. Scared to approach. I play too much lands. Alright, I'm putting that in the E tier. I'm a Lance main. I'm a Lance main. That being said though, the idea of they're kind of cooking a little bit. But another person also said that being scared to approach people, that is definitely another one of those like legit reason to be single for now. For now. So I'm gonna put that in the B tier. Scared to approach people. Tired of saying a relationship can be exhausting. Sometimes it's difficult to give your 100% divided attention most of the time to your partner, which hinders your connection with them. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And I would say, actually, this idea of it being just straight up exhausting is absolutely a reason to be single. You know what? Yeah, I can agree with Ian. I'm going to put this in the A tier, and I'm going to put relationships can be exhausting in the B tier. Someone is saying developed anger issues. Last relationship, developed anger issues and became unstable. All right, I'm gonna list this as traumatic last relationship, actually. It's very much in the traumatic last relationship kind of tier. How is autism not on the list yet? Is that my personality is an acquired taste? Is that my personality is an acquired taste? What would be, a little bit. Maybe the other was super crazy and broke his mind. Okay, so my personality is an acquired taste. Autism. As a reason to be single, I would actually put it in, like, the Dwee tier. Like, in my mind, what's the word? I wouldn't say it's an excuse. Blank plays. I don't think having autism is an excuse per se, but that it is the kind of thing that means it's not impossible. You know? Like, how should I put this? I don't think being autistic makes it impossible for one to find a partner. It can definitely make it more difficult, but I don't think that's necessarily a legit reason to stay single forever, right? So I will say autism, I'll put it in the B tier. All right. This was one of the responses. Is this a smiley face? Someone is saying, why get a relationship and have another person you have to be mindful of? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna put this in the same category as relationships can be exhausting, where it's definitely a legitimate reason, but not one I think could be a permanent reason. So, Midnight saying a legit reason to be single is brokenness. I mean, I would say that's also in the C tier. Because, you know, sometimes you gotta be broke with someone else, you know? You gotta be broke with someone else. Married is a reason why you're not single. So someone's saying basically they're married, so that's why they're not single. Fine, fine. I'm gonna bring back the WTF tier. The flex tier. Alright, another one is saying too busy. Yeah, no real time to meet people, too busy in general. I'm putting that also in the A tier at the moment because I feel like this is the kind of thing where like it could change and it should change. We're lonely hearts, not married hearts, right? Bro shouldn't even be here. Wow. No, I'm just kidding. If you are, you can observe the Lonely Hearts Club for sure. Absolutely observe the Lonely Hearts Club. Too epic? That's an E tier. If you're too epic, you should want to share your epicness with other people. Epicness should be shared, not hoarded, okay? I'm epic, and I need to share my epicness with everybody. Too epic to be in a relationship? Oh no! Alice is saying, I prefer being alone. Relationships are not worth it to me. I've not had a relationship for 25 years and I'm happy. I see. Okay, so, I see. So this is kind of in this category of, I prefer being alone. Relationships are not worth it to me. Alright. You know, I'll put this in the A tier. But yes, thank you, Alice. Respect. Respect. Actually, you know, you're right. Aromanticism, it may not even be aromantic. It's just, you know, not worth it to me. Not worth it to me. Alright, a relationship is not for me right now. Fair enough. It is kind of like being by choice, Ian, but I want to, like, you know, I'm trying to put almost all the answers on this grid. All the answers on this grid. Okay. Really don't feel like a relationship is for me right now. That's definitely a legit reason to be single. Actually, no, I'm gonna put this in S tier because it's the recognition that, you know, sometimes you're just not in the right mental place to be in a relationship, and I absolutely understand that. I absolutely get that. Oh, being rejected. This person is saying being rejected. You know what? I'll put that in the S tier. A legit reason to be single is being rejected by someone and having to deal with that heartache. Absolutely. Fighting to that person, as I said before, you know, even if something is the right thing to happen, even if something is good in the long run, that doesn't mean that it feels good, right? That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. You know, this idea that, like, yeah, you may say, like, you know, oh, that person wasn't the right person for you anyways. It doesn't mean that in the moment you feel fine about it. It still hurts. So I really, you know, quite into you. It's probably still hurts. Any kind of connection that doesn't form can really hurt. So yeah, very legit reason to be single. All right, super busy. We have super busy already here. Not socializing. That's probably because I don't go out most of the time, and I put that in the dwee tier. Tired with relationships. Alright. One thing person is saying, traumatized relationship, which we have here, and I'm used to being alone. Oh, interesting. I'm used to being alone. I'll put that in the A tier. Also, for anyone who's just joining us for this stream, today is Black Day. Woo! Black Day in South Korea. And that one basically means that February 14th, we give each other chocolates. March 14th, we give each other chocolates. April 14th, we're single and we eat black bean noodles together. So that's what's up. Another one is lack of confidence and depression. Lack of confidence and depression. What are legit reasons to be single? I'll put this in the A tier category as well because it's a recognition that not ready for a relationship right now. Yeah, I understand. I get it. Very legit. I stopped caring. I'm gonna put that in the P tier. I stopped caring. That is really real. That is really real. I don't know if this is the kind of thing where, like, you stop caring because you feel like every time you care you get burned, or you feel like you just stop caring because it just doesn't matter to you, right? At a certain point you realize, oh, as Alice was saying, I prefer being alone. Relationships are just not worth it to me. So there's two kinds of stop caring there. Like, I was burned, I can't bring myself to care anymore, or I realize it doesn't matter that much to me. I'm gonna put this in the B tier. Nihilism, E tier. Alright, personal and financial freedom. Actually true. Definitely a legit reason to be single. For real. Alright, one person is saying, I don't know. I don't know why I'm single. Fair enough. A legit reason to be single is not knowing why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Perfect. Perfection. Perfect. Perfect. The world is too corrupt. Man, I'll put that in the C tier. I think that doesn't mean that it's impossible to find someone to go through life with, Kenny. That like, yeah, this world is messed up, but I found the person that I can just kind of go through life with. You know, actually, I'll put that in B tier. The world kind of sucks. God tiers, I don't even know. Alright. Another one is too shy and awkward to talk to anybody. I see. Yeah, that was scared to approach people, I think, right? Another person says, want my own life to be under control before I date again. I think this is in the really don't feel like a relationship is for me right now category. So yeah. Another person is saying, I just don't put myself out there. Yeah, feel that. I definitely feel that too. Relationship means they'll make me pay taxes, right? The influences of others can destroy a relationship too. Definitely true. I've just never felt like I needed to be in a relationship. Fair enough. Fair enough. Haven't bothered. I see. Okay, this person is kind of split between haven't bothered and also I'm in no place to be in a relationship right now. That is a really legitimate reason to be single. Haven't found the one yet. Yeah. Haven't found the one is a reason to be single, but that's a reason to also keep searching, right? Widower, I see. Yeah, widower I also will put in the SSS tier. I just don't want a relationship, says one person, so that would be in the SSS tier. Actually, I just realized everything in the SSS tier involves like not needing to be in a relationship, so I'm gonna put this in the S tier. Oop. Okay. Autism and being too selective. I see. I already have autism in the C tier. And in the Dwee tier, I would have being too selective. Because I think this is the kind of thing where it's like, being too selective can be partially a lack of self-reflection. Because it can be like, I'm looking for someone who's a millionaire and who's the most gorgeous person of all time, and I'm looking for someone who has perfect teeth, and I'm looking for someone who had a perfect childhood, and I'm looking for someone who is, you know, exactly 2 years younger than me, and I'm looking for someone who has the exact same hobbies as I do, and I'm looking for someone who has similar childhood experiences, and it can be indicative of a lack of self-reflection. For me, this idea of being too selective and being unwilling to compromise and kind of say like, what are the things I really value, right? What are the things I truly, truly value? And those are the things that are like, what do I value in terms of like a person I want to go through life with, right? What if they're absolutely looking for an absolute dumpster fire? Actually true. Another one is I don't know how to meet people. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the C tier as well, where it's like, it's a legit reason to be single, but, it's a legit reason to be single, but, yeah, actually, I'll put that in the A tier. You know what? The dweeb also doesn't know how to meet people, if I'm being real. I also have no idea how to meet people. Another person says, who knows? And another person says, traumatic history. Okay, then I'm gonna say traumatic history. Over in the S tier. All right. Honestly, if I'm real to everybody, if I'm so real, I think they're all legit. I think they're all legit. minus the playing Fire Emblem and being a Lance main and being too epic. I think all these reasons are legit. Really. I think being single, being in a relationship is so, like, it's so nuanced, right? And for me, I'm in my 30s, right? As you all should know by now, I'm in my 30s, and I've gained a lot of wisdom unwillingly about these kinds of topics. And, you know, moving through life and finding someone to move through life with, it's difficult, right? It really is. And there are so many legitimate reasons to be single and legitimate reasons to not want to be in a relationship, legitimate reasons to not want to be in a relationship right now, legitimate reasons to be scared of relationships. These are all legit. I'll say that these are all legit reasons to be single. So everyone, if you submitted a reason to be single, I want to say that I think everyone's reasons are legit, except for those who play Fire Emblem. That's not legit. That's not a legit reason to be single, okay? Or being a Lance main or being too epic. Everything else is legit. Everything else is legit. Absolutely everything else is legit. It's not bad to be single. Sometimes it can really be a source of self-reflection. But I also want to say, and I said this earlier, if you are single, that doesn't mean you're not worthy of dignity. That doesn't mean that you are, you know, someone who doesn't deserve to be loved. That doesn't mean you're someone who doesn't deserve happiness or good things. It just means that, you know, this is how life is at the moment. It can change if you want it to change, and it may just take a long time. That's just how it goes. You know, just this idea of like, that is just how it is. And we just keep on moving forward regardless. So yeah, I think we all have legit reasons to be single. I think we all have legit reasons to be crying in the club today. And, you know, I am, as we well know, I am the captain of the Lonely Hearts Club, okay? And even though I'm kind of crying in the club all the time about it, that doesn't mean I feel like I am deeply sad. It doesn't mean that I feel like I'm deeply alone or that I feel like I don't deserve to have friends and people who care about me. It just means that, you know, this is how things are right now. They may change, they may not change anytime soon, but I keep on keeping on. I keep on moving forward, I keep on becoming a better version of myself every single day, and if I eventually share my life with someone who's willing to see that vision with me, then that's what's up. That's what'll happen. But for now, I'm the captain of the Lonely Hearts Club. I don't know, was this a good idea? Was making this tier list a good idea? I don't know. Was this a little too real? Maybe this was too real for, I don't know if this was too real for stream, but it happened already. So we cannot undo the realness. Thank you for giving me your reasons. A lot of you gave really real personal reasons. These were really intensely personal reasons, and I am really grateful that you trusted me to take it kind of seriously. I really am glad that you trusted me to take your reasons kind of seriously, and actually a lot of people, I think I was kind of expecting meme answers to this poll, to this form or whatever, but a lot of people gave really thoughtful responses, and I really appreciate that. It gave me a lot to reflect on today, on this Black Day, on this Singles Day. So cheers to all of us. Cheers, everybody.